Are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020?
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good.
Go back 4 years.
Why didn't the vice president win if the economy was so great?
That's not the point I'm making.
So
the point, don't look at me like that.
What's the point?
Donald Trump has been running for 2 years. Kamala Harris has been running for 107 days.
This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
And 53% for Trump right now, 46% for Harris. Back in 2020, 64% went for Biden.
Look at how shocked he is. He's like, holy shit.
It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare.
It is hard to think of a political comeback that is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short of what Donald Trump has achieved.
The liberal media is not happy at all, and they are not dealing with it too well. Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper, other networks are having a little meltdown, a cringe fest, a cry fest, a complain fest, because Trump is projected to win the election, even though we have CNN here not wanting to call the race. And we're going to go through the best moments of the liberal media freaking out over Trump's projected victory. It's Sean Daniel here. If you guys enjoy the videos, consider subscribing. Let's go. Look at that beautiful map.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
So you asked.
There's not one county that she overperformed that Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Jake Tapper can't believe it. Look at this.
20.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
So you asked.
That's because everything you say, nobody resonates with you, dumbass.
Because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite, who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they were facing rejection. And that hurts. They thought tomorrow morning they're going to walk out with their shoulders back a little bit, maybe able to breathe for the first time and feel like they belong someplace. They did everything that they knew how to do. And it's going to be harder than it should be tomorrow for them to hold their heads up. And they're not the only people who are hurting tonight. If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good. There are going to be people tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Yeah, but Van, how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump.
Well,
right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party, let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
That's facts, because what they run on is absolute idiocy. But you see how it's emotional bribery, manipulation all the time? No, Trump's going to stand up for what's right finally.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
It's amazing. Whatever they accuse you of is what they are. They are a whole propagandist machine. They have a direct line to the White House. It's always reversed.
And Anderson, it is hard to think of a political comeback that is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short of what Donald Trump has achieved.
Yeah, I mean, winning not just the electoral votes, but the popular vote as well.
Because he's poised to, he's winning the popular vote right now by 5 million votes. I don't know what the final total will be. He'll be the first Republican candidate to win the popular vote, if he does, in 20 years. 20 years.
Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And
Patriarchy? What? No, she's just a fake-ass candidate, and Trump is not. That's why they voted for him.
it's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place?
It makes it very attractive because it's so red.
Well, and that's what makes the timing, I think, of President Biden's decision to step down after the debate something that, if she does in fact lose, will be under a microscope because, of course, there was so much discussion, even over the summer, about potentially having an open primary and having that fight play out within the Democratic Party. So I think it's one of the big questions moving forward.
But none of these people fought for that. They just took orders and were like, yeah, we love Kamala. And now they're paying the price, baby.
It's the key to getting elected president.
Well, I think obviously he's got his own unique style, and he speaks in his language. But I also think, when we were talking about this earlier, I think Jim Messina was talking about it, that Democrats had made the decision to basically just campaign to be anti-Trump. And for the last 10 years, it's been primarily anti-Trump.
That's literally been their whole campaign, and he's a racist. And look, they show at the Trump HQ this guy with I think it's called a Sikh hat thingy on, a minority in the United States. He's at Trump HQ. Now let's hear some more excuses they make. Not because Kamala's a fake-ass person and fake-ass candidate. No. There's other reasons she's not doing as good. Watch.
For Harris.
And the thing about North Carolina, and John has been talking about this and will do more at the wall, is you do have kind of a sense of the country in the state of North Carolina, in that there are growing minority populations, and there is a growing sort of suburban, maybe more moderate population in and around the big cities. And so that is why the Harris campaign thought, with the dynamics of the country right now, that she would have a better shot. But look, the headwinds of the economy, the inflation that people are feeling, the difficulty in their everyday lives.
Yeah, she could not outrun that Biden economy.
Yeah, and the economy, Chris, that is what people are feeling every single day.
Why can't she outrun it? Because everything she presented was not logical, based on the fact that she was contributing to the Biden economy by being vice president and being toe-to-toe with Biden. And all her little antics were not going to work.
Let's bring Savannah Sellers into this. I mean, what are you reading out of the exit polls? Are you seeing any trend lines? I know you've got your brief. You really look at young voters, and you've got your finger on the pulse there. What stands out?
Absolutely. I'll start with some numbers and then give you some anecdotal information. First, let's talk about first-time voters. This is not just young voters, but that's 57% of these first-time voters are under the age of 30. They are breaking for Trump. That is a major reversal from 2020. 53% for Trump right now, 46% for Harris. Back in 2020, 64% went for Biden.
Look at this guy's face. I don't know his name.
Trump right
Watch
now,
this.
46% for Harris. Back in
Look at how shocked he is. He is like, holy shit. Yeah, because these people are so out of touch. And now they're about to pay the price, baby.
The United States economy is the envy of the world.
It absolutely
That the only reason there's a positive economic outlook globally is because the United States economy is doing so well, it's dragging everybody else upward. It's the best job market in the history of the United States. Inflation is back to where it was, not only just before COVID, but before Donald Trump left office, right? I mean, this is the inflation numbers, the economic growth numbers, the fiscal numbers, the U.S. standing in the world numbers are all off the charts positive. Even the freaking stock market, right? All off the charts positive. And yet, the pain, the old pain from having gone through the rise in prices, which is over and which we weathered better than every other advanced economy in the world, to me, it can't be prescriptive because of what's happened since, because we voted today, or we voted in this early voting period, right? I mean, if we were a country where all the economic indicators were going down, you would expect it to be a big economically driven change election. But all of our economic indicators are 3 feet high and rising.
So if the economy really is that good, and we should feel that great about our economy in the U.S., even if that's the case, and Kamala Harris loses, which is what this lady is proposing, that it is that great, the economy is, and Kamala Harris is going to lose, what does that tell you about her ability to connect with voters? What does that tell you about the Democrat Party's ability to communicate a message, connect with people? It's pretty shitty.
Jen, has the conversation begun yet about Joe Biden and about the decision to ask him to step aside?
It will begin. It will begin depending on the outcome. And obviously, there hasn't been a race called yet. If this is not a Harris win, that will certainly be part of the discussion. She's run a campaign over the course of 107 days. That is not something we've seen in history. And there'll be lots of questions about exactly that, the timing and the impact of that.
Well, Chuck was bringing up the history. I mean, in terms of vice presidents trying to win the presidency with a unpopular president, he said it's bordering on politically impossible.
None of these people would have said any of this months ago. As soon as she got the nomination and got switched from Joe Biden, they were just kissing her ass, and it is so good for justice to be served to these liars, manipulators. Oof, feels so good.
My panel, and let's just run down, starting with you, Audie. What are you looking for? Obviously, there's so much, but just give me one.
I would say that 2020 was a historic turnout. I mean, the highest since the 1900s. So if it doesn't match that, who stayed home and why? And I think so many of our questions will come to that. Which group stayed home and why?
Donald Trump has been running for 2 years. Kamala Harris has been running for 107 days. So one of my big questions is, particularly with her candidacy, is whether that was just enough time to introduce herself to the country and to candidates who were dead set on voting for a Democrat, weren't so sure about him, or whether she could have used a little bit more time.
But that was all part of the plan that you guys went along with. You guys said Joe Biden was great for a long, long time. He was so sharp. He was so intelligent. He was so all the way there. No decline at all. Which that did not allow a change to take place in the candidate until we had the public display of that debate to be horrible. And then all of a sudden we had all of you people, Dana Bash, oh my God, Joe Biden's so unfit. We need someone else. Just serves them right. And now they're going to make the same excuses over something that they promoted.
Your candidate win, then Karen, if that doesn't
has nothing
exist.
to do with whether or not we won. The point, my point is, we can't.
Great.
You're going to get in a time machine and go back 4 years.
The vice president win if the economy was so great.
That's not the point I'm making.
So
the point. Don't look at me like that.
What's the point?
The point that I'm trying to make is that where we were in 2017 and 2018, we can't just get in a time machine and go back.
My point is, your message didn't resonate.
That's the point.
And I think to try to pretend and paint a picture, and Bakari, I get your points in terms of the charts. I get it. I'm a numbers guy. But most people are saying, I get the numbers. I don't have a 401k. I'm not invested in the stock market.
I was just saying
their message did not connect. Even if they can say by the numbers the economy's better, even though nobody really believes that, normal people, average people don't think that. If the economy was really that great by the numbers, their message did not resonate. And she got pissed. Listen, don't look at me like that.
It's not the point I'm making.
So
The point, don't look at me like that.
What's the point?
The point.
I think we need to recognize that over half of America feels very strongly about the things that Donald Trump feels strongly about, right? A secure border, the economy, crime. It might not be a perfect messenger, but the message resonates. And what Vannon, we talked about this earlier, about the check engine light, all those things are real. Democracy is a luxury when you can't pay your bills. And I think, there are a great deal of Americans tonight who are sitting back and saying, kind of look at it, that everyone, that they view as the elite and kind of sneering and saying, we told you so. We're not garbage. We're hardworking people. We believe in these things, right? People don't like to be talked down to. This coalition, this is Hispanics. Trump is crushing in Hispanics, the Hispanic vote in Pennsylvania, right? He's getting 50% of the women vote.
Lehigh County, he's up from 2020. He was at 45%. He's now at 48%.
Yeah, Allentown is, we were talking about how, the Puerto Ricans would come out. He's winning those votes because you know what those people care about? They care about security. They care about economy. They care about those things around the kitchen table. So if the former president is going to be the next president, I think there's a lot of, America's going to have to sit back. He's going to win. It looks like he may win the popular vote, right? There's going to be a reckoning in America that people are going to have to sit back and say, maybe some of these things Trump's espousing are not crazy. Maybe he's right? Maybe the Democratic Party needs to come back to the center if they want to be competitive again. There's going to be a part where they're going to say, we need to go further to the left.
Van?
And it's not just because of the economy and that we want to overlook what democracy is. That's a ridiculous notion. No. It's because voters have noses. And we can sniff out bullshit like Kamala Harris and her campaign, and we can see the realness of Trump just speaking like it's real. And it's so good to see these idiots have their reckoning day after 4 years of lying to everybody, having their cheer pom-poms up. I am so excited to wear this so often and wear my bandana, need to get a MAGA hat. Oh my God, just to show off after the BS we've been through for 4 years. It's so exciting. It's Sean Daniel here. If you guys enjoyed the videos, consider subscribing. This video, consider subscribing or watching another one. Let's go!